Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we will solve one more Leetcode problem. The problem name is house robber. It is a medium level problem. First of all, we will understand the problem statement, then we will find a good approach to solve this problem. Robber planning to rob houses along a street. Each house has a certain amount. Uh, the only constraint stopping the robber robbing of each of them is the adjacent houses have security system connected. Automatically contact the police if two adjacent houses were broken. Okay. And also nums representing the amount of money of each house. Return the maximum amount of money you can rob tonight. Here the nums array contains the amount of money of each house. Yet house 1 we have the amount is 1, house 2 amount is 2, house 3 3, and house 4 have amount is 1. The robber has to rob the maximum amount from all the houses. uh, here they here in the constraint they will said that the robber cannot rob the two adjacent houses. If he rob the first house, he need to ignore the second house and he can rob the third house. In similar fashion, if he rob the second house, he cannot rob the third house and he can rob the fourth house. Likewise, he can rob. We can understand it better by taking some test cases. Let we assume that there is only one house. The maximum amount he can rob is the amount that in that house, right? Okay. Only one house with the amount is 3. With amount is 1. Okay. He can rob 1. If there are two houses, first house contains amount 1 and second house contains 2. The maximum amount he can rob is 2 from both the houses. Either he can rob first house or second house, but they said that the maximum amount the robber can rob, so he can choose second house and he can rob. If the if we if there are three houses, 1 2 3, okay. Yeah, yet here we know that the maximum amount he can rob is 1, and yet here we can know that the maximum amount he can rob is 2. We need to find when the robber has come to third house. Either he can rob the third house or he can ignore the third house. First of all, we need to check the robber. If the robber robbed the second house, he is not able to rob the third house. Yet the second house, what is the maximum value he can rob? At the second house, the maximum amount he can rob is 2. At the third house, he can rob the first house money plus third house money. At first house, the maximum amount he can rob is 1. And at the third house, the amount there is 3. So totally he can rob maximum amount of 4 when we consider 3 houses. When we consider 4 houses, 1 2 3 and 1, yeah. If we consider fourth house, the max up to third house the maximum amount he can rob is 3, and at the second house that he can rob the maximum amount is 2. If he is going to rob the fourth house, he need to check the previous house. The maximum amount at the third house is 4, and he can rob the current house, and he will check the previous house. The maximum amount is at second house is 2. By considering both houses, he can drop the maximum amount of 4. Likewise, he can drop. If we go on means, we can easily find the solution for the bigger problem. By observing all these test cases, we get into one clarity that the bigger problem can be solved by taking the solution from the smaller problem. It is a dynamic approach. Thereby solving the smaller problems, we can find the solution for the bigger problem. and and otherwise we can say that the bigger problem can be split into smaller problems, and we can solve all the smaller problems, and we can find a solution for the bigger problem. Okay, let me code this into the programming. If there is only one house, length of nums is equal to 1, we need to return the we will create a dp array with the size is the length of the nums to store the what is the maximum you can drop at each index. Then we start drop from the third house. We know that we can store the we will first consider the previous house. What is the previous house? I minus 1. What is the current house? And we can add it with the previous house. What is the current house value? What is the maximum at the previous house that is stored in the dp, right? Every house maximum is stored at the index, that index I minus 1, I minus 2. We need to carefully observe there might be at the last or the previous the answer. Yeah, by mistake I wrote the n, but actually it is nums. There is something wrong in my code. Let me observe the code. Yeah, here is the mistake. We will start, but index starts from 0, so third house means it will represent the index 2. Yeah, yeah, it is one of the solution, or either it is like a recursion type problem. uh, if we want means we can also write the code. I will just explain the process. If you want means you can try to solve the problem by recursion, using recursion. Okay, okay, let we take here array. Just I will copy and paste that. Okay, uh, but when we solve this problem on this platform, you will get time limit exit. Why? Because recursion taking too much of time to compute all the values by, so, so for that reason we will get, but it is a recursive problem. We can also use it by recursive approach. uh, Let we take that here is the robber. He can robber one robs the first house and he cannot rob the second house, but he can take maximum amount that he can rob from this all the houses. Okay, okay, he can rob the second house and he can rob max that can he rob from this all these houses, right? And here also it is also the same problem like this problem. Okay, for here he can rob the 9 and he can not rob the 3 and he can check the maximum amount from these all these houses. It is a recursive type problem. You can also solve this by recursion. If you understand the code means, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. If you like the video, you can subscribe to my channel. Thank you.